Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's Fatmata here from Traditionally Inspired Meaningful Art, and I wanted to share a quick haul with you from one of my recent-ish visits to G Street Fabrics. I went back in September, so it's been a while at the time of recording this, but I haven't shown you the things, so I'm going to show you the things. I'm currently wearing my adapted S9114 dress. I used the bodice of that Mimiji pattern, added pockets to it, added a waist tie as well, and I love it. I did extend the button front placket all the way down, but instead of the two-tiered skirt, it is just one straight gathered tier, utilizing the remaining fabric that I had when I was sewing this up. I will link to a video where I talk about it in a bit more detail, and I hope that you enjoy that. So let me tell you what occurred, what went down. I had to go and get our vehicle serviced or like inspected, and the location that we had to go to was like unnecessarily close to G Street Fabrics. As I was approaching the destination, I was like, this is very close to an exit I'm very fond of. And I was sitting there and I was like, I could spend 2 hours just like sitting at the mechanics, or I could call an Uber and go to my happy place. And I chose the latter. I will admit, if there was anyone else in my presence that I had to explain the fact that I was going to spend money to go and spend money, I would have been ashamed. Luckily for me, it was just me, myself, and I, and the mechanics, and you know, they don't judge. So I appreciated that. Anyways, I made my way over to my happy place and just spent some time just touching the yardages of fabric, okay? I went to the dead stock or the remnant or the clearance section, $2.97 a yard for all of these that I'm going to show you. So to begin, this is a rayon double knit in this awesome, almost hot pink, salmon-y color. I love the ribbing on this. And you would recognize this fabric because I've already cut into it and made a dress out of it. I made the McCall's 8064 dress out of this that I wore on my girls trip, so I will try and insert some photos of that, but this has already been cut into, so this is just the remnant that I have left. Then I saw this gorgeous Kelly green, I believe this is a rayon voile fabric. Look at how scrumptious this color is. It is so light, has the most beautiful drape. This is the single layer of that. So if you look at it, it is a little, I wouldn't say it's see-through, but you see it? It's almost like vellum, but in fabric format. And it's so lovely. It is the softest fabric. Rayon voile is one that I've come to know through the dead stock section at G Street. I picked up a really dark teal rayon voile a couple of months ago from them and have cut something out. Actually, I cut something out before my summer trip to Guinea and still have yet to sew that up. But when I saw this Kelly green version, I absolutely loved it and wanted to have it. Unfortunately, the yardage is not that much. I think it's possibly 1.5 yards, if that. So it's not a lot of yardage here, and so I'm thinking more blouse. We shall see. But that is the idea, and I just adore it so much. Then there is this navy sort of, I wish I knew what the substrate is, but honestly it feels like a viscose fabric. It does wrinkle a little bit, so that makes me feel like it's a bit of a natural fiber or has some natural fiber content in it, and also the feel of it feels very much like a viscose. So I believe that's what it is. I haven't done a burn test, but I could do a burn test on this just to confirm that it's not polyester, but it is in this awesome midnight navy color, and I think this would also make a phenomenal blouse for the autumn winter, and something with buttons down the front, especially given that I would be able to sort of layer this on top of so many things in my wardrobe already. I really do love a good navy. Yeah. I think I might have in my hands here, it's definitely over 1.5 yards. So I'm hopeful that it's like 2 yards possibly. I forget. But a decent amount here to play with. Then I got this Silkey. It's a poly satin fabric. And it has just the most lovely off-white polka dots on here. This one had some cuts into the fabric, like you can see here, it's cut on the diagonal. It's, you know, seen some things in its life. Now at G Street in that dead stock section, there are some fabrics that I will admit I've picked up that have some imperfections in them. You might see like a little hole in you know, the center or on the side, or it's kind of cut. Not many and not all by any stretch of the imagination. I've picked up some really nice just long yardages of fabric, but given the idea that it is dead stock, there might have been a blemish on the fabric, something that went wrong, and I think that's why they have some of those fabrics that they have there and can pass them along to us as the end user for such a phenomenal price. Anyways, that being said, when I saw that diagonal, I mean, you are in that room, you have time to explore, you can make the decisions on what you're willing to work around and what you cannot. But for me, I sort of like spread this out on the massive table that they have in the center of that room, and I was legitimately standing there trying to calculate, like, could I get, you know, a bodice front? Could I get, you know, a skirt piece? Could this be a long length button-up shirt dress, right? And where would I put the sleeve with this diagonal line? All of these different things. And I did come to the conclusion that if I played my cards right, I could potentially get a very simple, sleek button-up shirt dress out of this. And for that reason, I bought it. I think it's about 1.5 yards uninterrupted, and then that like long bit. And they were really generous when counting the yardage of it, given that there was that imperfection in it, which I really appreciate. So you get just that little bit extra that you then get to play with when you are doing your cutting out layout. It's been really helpful having my pattern stash in my Trello for this reason, because I was in that moment sort of pulling up a lot of my shirt dress patterns or blouse patterns, etc., and looking through on the back of the envelope, because in Trello I take a picture of the front of the envelope and a picture of the back. I don't spend time writing out all the details, but instead, because I have a picture of the back, I just zoom in and read sort of for my size and what the yardage is that they want, and kind of see if it makes sense to get that fabric. And for me, it made sense to get this fabric. I think it's just so lovely, and with buttons, and it's just gonna be such a good flowy, floaty dress, and I'm excited about it. I'm going to talk about this here, but I cannot recall if I got this from Joann Fabrics or from G Street, but the fact that it is a tubular piece of ribbing, I'm gonna go with G Street, because I will admit I don't often see Joann Fabrics selling the tubular ribbing. Okay, so it is a black tubular ribbing, not much at all. Okay, so I doubt if this is even half a yard, but I got it because anytime I see their tubular ribbing, I definitely want it in my stash, especially if it's in a color that I could see myself utilizing. I am going to be recording my like fall winter sewing plans, and I definitely have a dark floral in there that I could potentially see myself making a bomber jacket out of, and just having this amazing ribbing for the cuffs and the collar and the bottom band is going to be awesome. And making clothing or like athleisure wear for my kids, this will also be helpful. My kids have found me. Hey, Baba. 2 more fabrics. So next up is this super soft and cozy. I feel like it could possibly be a rayon fleece-backed fabric, if you will. So here is the back of it. It has a low sort of fleecy pile but very, very luscious on the front. And this is after it's been washed, so I don't see a lot of bobbling or a lot of pilling. And I know that that's just after the first initial wash, but I have had fabrics that were the softest cloud-like fabrics initially, washed them one time, all the bobbles. So it made me really happy when this...
I will be ready in a moment when you finish.
Okay, thank you. So I was extremely happy to see this come out of the wash unscathed, okay? And it's picked up all those wrinkles. It's so great. Is this a color for me? Probably not, okay? I could consult my little free color wheel for winters. I'm sure this won't be on the palette. However, my friends, athleisure wear or like lounge wear knows no season. You understand? It knows no season. And I think that this is going to be so soft and cuddly. Now, it's not a lot of fabric here. So let's see how much. Is that the edge? Is that it? One. Ooh. Okay, it really isn't a lot of fabric. Look at me discovering things. So I think it was like just under 1.5 yards. You know, a fearful person may have left this and thought, I can't make an entire something out of this. So I think if I were of a different mindset, I might have left this behind. But again, the quality of it, what I could see its potential being, I just thought that it was worthwhile for me to bring this home. And I'm very happy that I did, and I'm happy that it washed up well. And I'm thinking, like, if I could get, let's say, like a Sirocco jumpsuit out of this and or my vintage loungewear set out of this, I would be very happy. I'm gonna have to work with pattern placement. Something might need to be cut on the fold that wasn't intended to be cut on the fold. We will make it happen, and I'll show you what that becomes. But look at this. It's like a muted eggplant color, okay? It's gorgeous, and I'm very happy about it. Then we have this lovely piece right here, and I remember seeing this and I immediately just had to bring it out. I had to know more. I love the sort of, the print feels like a cultural celebration. Of which culture, I can't place my finger on specifically, but it's giving me like Mediterranean, it's giving me like villas. I feel like tiles could be made out of some of these prints. It's so beautiful. I love that they have all of these different panels throughout. It's gorgeous. It is a cotton sateen like base without the like shiny finish, but the cotton sateens I've had in the past sort of feels like this. But it is a cotton fabric, and just with the most beautiful sort of print that repeats. So with this, and the back is white, so it is like just printed on. It's not sort of like how Ankara fabric is the same on both sides. It's not like that. But with this, I have 4 yards. So this was, I think, one of the fabrics on this particular day that I got the most yardage of, and I just took the whole piece that I found there. I don't exactly know what I want to make out of it right now. So I've been tinkering with some ideas. I think initially when I picked it up, I did sort of in my mind's eye, just to give myself that go ahead to proceed and buy it, I did sort of force myself to think of at least one thing that I would love to make out of it. And I did think of the Miniji Simplicity S9 114, what I adapted to make the dress I'm currently wearing out of. And I did that primarily because I know that this fabric in my size takes 4 yards. So I figured, okay, that's good, and I would be able to use up pretty much the entirety of this fabric, and I think that it would highlight and showcase the various panels very beautifully because it is so boxy and rectangular. I don't think that you would distort and interrupt a lot of the print here. So I was happy with that. So possibly Mimi G's S9114, the long dress here with all the tears and all the drama. And I think in this, I could wear it open as a duster under another layer. I could also just wear it, of course, as a dress, and having it that with a bit more structure, since it's a cotton fabric, might give me a different silhouette than the previous S9114s that I've made in the past. So that is the final fabric from that particular visit. I think the next time I'll be at G Street, I'm going to reserve for Thanksgiving weekend. I'm thinking the Friday, Black Friday, I might go there. I know that they often have Thanksgiving, Black Friday sales, and I am in the market for some beautiful fabrics, sort of bridal inspired fabrics. I would love to find something in the dead stock section, but even if I don't, on the floor and in their you know, regular sort of offerings, I would love to kind of take a gander. I would be going with my best friend. She is getting married next year. We're super excited. So in preparation for that, I'm not making her wedding dress or anything like that. Thank goodness. I want to keep our friendship intact, you know, through this process. So I was like, babes, love you. Won't be doing that. So what I did want to offer her instead, though, I was like, you know, there are so many events that lead up to, that precede, you know, a wedding. I was like, what are you wearing for the bridal shower? What about the bachelorette party? Like, what of those events, you know, the rehearsal dinner? I can do that level of dressmaking, and I am so excited to support and help her with that. So we've been developing a Pinterest board and have all these things going. Anyways, just wanted to say, I think that's going to be the next time that I'm going to allow myself to go to G Street and see what I find there. Hopefully I have a really good day in the dead stock section. We just got to go early. And aside from that, I think that might be my last visit for the year, potentially. I'm trying to do some things with my stash. I'm trying to honor my stash. I'm trying to use it more and appreciate the beautiful things I've already previously stocked for myself. And I think that will give me sort of the ability, right, to get the fix that I need, because I love them dearly. But it would also then give me the distance that I need to spend time more in my stash. And then I'll be away for the latter half of December, so no temptation there. I'll be tempted elsewhere, I'm sure, but won't need to visit G Street for that time period. So yeah, I think that's what I have coming up, and I'm so excited about the fabrics that I got. All different. Today's not like really thoughtful color story day, but I mean, once you add this one, some of these kind of go together. Don't they go together? Some of these go together. Some of these go together. Look, this picks out the little bit of purple right here in that floral. Look at that. Look at that. If I made a little sweater, little crop sweater, pair those together. Anyway, I do want to say, I bought these fabrics prior to doing my sort of fabric reorganization and all of that. And I will say that when I was packing it all away, I was like, you kind of go with things, right? Some of them had purposes. Some of them were just additional fabrics in a category of fabrics that I have plenty of and still need to utilize. But I am happy with every single one of these, and I definitely left some things behind. Mommy, because I was being more strategic. Yes.
There's something crawling on our carpet.
Okay, I'm coming right now. Okay, here I come. So on that note, I am gonna go and see what's crawling on the basement's carpet. All right, that's all from me today. Stay creative, my friends. Bye-bye.